Stop right there, before you say another word, before you post that status update, before you tell your friend about your next big move. Listen to me closely, because the very next sentence that leaves your mouth could be the one that destroys you. We live in a world that is obsessed with transparency. They tell you to be an open book. They tell you that honesty is the only policy. They tell you that if you are just vulnerable enough and authentic enough, the world will reward you with trust and loyalty. But that is a lie. A beautiful, seductive, dangerous lie designed to keep you weak, designed to keep you manageable, designed to keep you exactly where the predators want you. Niccolò Machiavelli, the man who saw the darkest corners of the human soul, understood this 500 years ago. He knew that in the game of power, the man who reveals his intentions is the man who digs his own grave. Because the moment you make your desires known, the moment you lay your cards on the table, you hand your enemies the exact weapon they need to destroy you. You give them a map to your insecurities, a blueprint to your sabotage, and a key to your mind. You think you are building connection, but you are really building a cage. And today we are going to rip the door off that cage. We are going to explore the most ruthless, effective, and necessary rule of power that exists, the art of concealment, the discipline of silence, the absolute necessity of never, ever revealing your real intentions until the trap is already sprung. You might think this sounds cold, you might think it sounds manipulative, but ask yourself this: how many times have you told someone your plans only to watch them fall apart? How many times have you shared a dream only to feel the air sucked out of it by someone's doubt? How many times have you been betrayed by someone you thought you could trust, simply because you gave them too much information? The world is not a safe space for your truth. It is a battlefield for your interests. And on a battlefield, you do not walk out into the open waving a flag that says, "Here I am, please don't hurt me." No, you camouflage, you hide, you wait, and you strike when they least expect it. This video is not for the faint of heart. It is not for those who want to be coddled. It is for those who are ready to stop being prey and start being players. So buckle up, pay attention, and prepare to silence the part of you that begs to be understood, because understanding is a luxury, but survival is a duty. Let us begin with the root of the problem, the desperate, scratching need you have to be seen, to be validated, to be known. From the time you were a child, you were conditioned to believe that sharing is caring, that keeping secrets is bad, that you owe the world an explanation for your existence. You walk into a room and you feel the silence like a weight, so you start talking. You fill the air with your thoughts, your opinions, your plans for the weekend, your frustrations with your boss. You think you are making conversation, but you are actually leaking power. You are hemorrhaging leverage. Every piece of information you give away freely is a piece of yourself that you can never get back. It is a data point that someone else can file away, analyze, and use against you when the time is right. Machiavelli warned us about this. He said that men are so simple and so subject to present necessities that he who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. When you wear your heart on your sleeve, you are not being noble, you are being lazy. You are refusing to do the hard work of self-containment. You are outsourcing your emotional regulation to the people around you, begging them to validate you so you can feel real. But here is the brutal truth. People do not respect what is given away for free. They do not value the open book. They skim a few pages, get bored, and throw it aside. The things we value, the things we obsess over, are the things that are hidden, the things that are scarce, the things that we have to work to understand. Think about the most powerful people you know, the ones who command a room without raising their voice. Do they ramble? Do they overshare? Do they spill their guts to strangers? No. They are vaults, they are oceans, calm on the surface, unreadable, deep, and potentially dangerous. You don't know what they are thinking, so you project your own thoughts onto them. You don't know what they are planning, so you assume they are always 3 steps ahead. You don't know what they want, so you find yourself trying to please them just to get a reaction. That is the power of the hidden intention. It creates a vacuum, and human nature abhors a vacuum, so people rush to fill it with their own respect, their own fear, and their own submission. When you stop revealing your intentions, you stop being a character in other people's stories, and you become the author of your own. You become the narrator, the director, the architect. But to do this, you must kill the part of you that craves pity, the part of you that wants someone to say, "Oh, you poor thing, Look how hard you are trying. Pity is the most expensive feeling in the world. It costs you your dignity, it costs you your reputation, and it costs you your power. When you tell people what you are trying to do, you are asking for their approval. But a prince, a ruler, a master of his own fate does not ask for approval. He creates outcomes. Imagine you are playing poker, but you are playing with your cards facing out. Everyone at the table can see your hand. They know when you have a pair of aces. They know when you are bluffing. They know when you are desperate. Would you expect to win that game? Would you expect anyone to take you seriously? Of course not. You would be laughed out of the room. You would be stripped of your chips, and you would be sent home broke. Yet this is exactly how you are living your life every single day. You tell your coworker that you are looking for a new job, and then you are shocked when the boss starts treating you coldly. You tell your friend that you are starting a business, and then you are hurt when they point out all the reasons it might fail. You tell your partner exactly how much you fear losing them, and then you wonder why they start pulling away. You are showing your cards, and the world is playing you. Machiavelli taught that a wise prince must be a great simulator and dissimulator. He must know how to hide his nature, how to be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. But you cannot be a fox if you are barking like a dog at every passing car. To master this, you must understand that your intentions are not just thoughts. They are potential energy. They are the fuel for your future. And when you speak them out loud, you dissipate that energy. You release the pressure valve. Have you ever noticed that when you talk about a big goal, you feel a sense of relief, a sense of satisfaction, as if you have already done something? That is your brain tricking you. It gives you the dopamine hit of success without the work, and so you lose the drive to actually execute. But when you keep it inside, when you lock that intention in the dark room of your mind, it grows. It builds pressure. It becomes a fire that burns you from the inside out, forcing you to act, forcing you to move, forcing you to manifest it in reality just to get some relief. Silence is not empty. Silence is full. Silence is the womb of power. When you reveal your intentions, you also create resistance. This is a law of physics and a law of human nature. For every action, there is a reaction, and for every declaration of intent, there is an equal and opposite force of envy, doubt, and sabotage waiting to rise up against it. People do not like to see others rise. It reminds them of their own stagnation. It threatens their sense of hierarchy. If you say you are going to get in shape, they will offer you cake. If you say you are going to save money, they will invite you on expensive trips. If you say you are going to succeed, they will remind you of all the times you failed. They do not do this because they are evil. They do it because they are human, because your change makes them uncomfortable. By keeping your intentions hidden, you bypass their defense mechanisms. You slip under their radar. You move like a ghost through the walls of their resistance. They cannot block what they cannot see. They cannot sabotage a plan they do not know exists. By the time they realize what you are doing, it should be too late for them to stop you. The check should be cashed, the contract signed, the body transformed, the victory secured. That is the Machiavellian way, to present the world with a fait accompli, a done deal, a reality that can no longer be argued with. But how do you do this? How do you actually walk through the world without giving yourself away? It requires a fundamental shift in your personality, a rewiring of your default settings. You must become comfortable with being misunderstood. You must become comfortable with people thinking you are dumber than you are, lazier than you are, less ambitious than you are. Let them think you are drifting. Let them think you are confused. Let them think you are just like them. Machiavelli advised that sometimes it is necessary to play the fool to fool the fool, to cloak your brilliance in mediocrity so that you do not attract fire. This is not about lying, although Machiavelli would say that a lie is just a tool like any other. It is about curation. It is about editing. You do not owe anyone the full truth of your mind. You owe them only the version of yourself that serves your purpose in that moment. Think of your personality as a series of masks, not fake faces, but shields, layers of armor designed to protect the soft, vital core of your true intentions. To your boss, you wear the mask of the loyal, diligent worker, while secretly you are building the skills to replace him or to leave him. To your rival, you wear the mask of the friendly, harmless peer, while secretly you are outworking him in the dark. To the world, you wear the mask of the calm, steady, predictable citizen, while inside you are a revolutionary, plotting your own ascension. This causes cognitive dissonance in people. They see one thing, but they sense another, and that confusion is where your power lies. When people cannot quite figure you out, they hesitate, and in their hesitation, you strike. You must learn to speak without saying anything, to answer questions with questions, to deflect with humor, to hide behind platitudes. When someone asks, "What are you up to these days?" you do not give them the business plan. You say, "Oh, just keeping busy. Same old, same old." It sounds boring. It sounds harmless. And that is exactly the point. You want to be dismissed. You want to be underestimated. Because the man who is underestimated is the man who is left alone to build his empire. Do not let your ego trick you into needing to impress people. Do not fall into the trap of trying to prove how smart you are. The smartest man in the room is the one who lets everyone else do the talking, who gathers information while giving none, who feeds the egos of others while starving his own, knowing that he will eat the entire feast later. This is the discipline of the shadow, the art of becoming a void that others try to fill. Let us go deeper into the psychology of why this is so difficult for you, why you feel this burning itch to confess. It comes from a lack of internal structure, a lack of a solid core. You are looking for external anchors because you have not built internal ones. You want someone to witness your life because you are afraid that if no one sees it, it isn't real. But the strongest structures are built underground. The tallest skyscrapers have foundations that go deep into the earth, unseen, dark, and silent. Your intentions are your foundation. If you expose them to the light too early, they dry out, they crack, they crumble. You must learn to hold the tension of the unexpressed thought. It is physically uncomfortable. It feels like pressure in your chest, like a secret fighting to get out. Good. Use that pressure. Let it turn into focus. Let it turn into discipline. When you want to talk, work instead. When you want to post, plan instead. When you want to brag, build instead. Transmute that energy from speech into action, from noise into signal. The world is drowning in noise. Everyone is shouting. Everyone is broadcasting. Everyone is signaling virtue and success and happiness. Be the silence. Be the black hole in the center of the galaxy that holds everything together but emits no light of its own. This makes you magnetic. People will come to you. They will pry. They will dig. They will try to crack you open. And this is where the game gets fun. This is where you start to enjoy the control. You can feed them little scraps of information, red herrings, false trails. You can tell them what they expect to hear. You can mirror their own desires back to them. Machiavelli said that men are so ready to obey their present necessities that he who deceives will always find those who are ready to be deceived. If they want to see a fool, show them a fool. If they want to see a friend, show them a friend. If they want to see a follower, show them a follower. But never, ever show them the master strategist who sits behind the eyes, pulling the strings, watching the show, waiting for the curtain call. You must become a master of the false signal, of feinting left while moving right. In war, this is called the fog of war. In life, it is called mystique. You want to be the person that people talk about after you leave the room, not because you are loud, but because they can't quite pin you down, because they have a lingering feeling that there is more to you than meets the eye. That feeling is respect. It is the instinctive recognition of a predator, of someone who is not playing by the rules of polite society, but by the rules of power. Consider the cost of ignoring this rule. Look at the people around you who have failed. Look at the friend who talked for years about writing a book but never wrote a page. Look at the colleague who threatened to quit a dozen times but is still sitting in the same cubicle. Look at the aspiring entrepreneur who spent all his money on business cards and a launch party before he had a product. They revealed their intentions, and the energy dissipated. They got the applause before the performance, and so they never performed. They let the air out of the tires before the race began. Or worse, look at the people who were destroyed because they tipped their hand. The employee who let slip that he disagreed with the boss and found himself fired the next week. The lover who revealed their total dependence and was treated with contempt. The politician who stated his true beliefs and was destroyed by the mob. History is a graveyard of people who spoke too soon, who trusted too much, who believed that the truth would set them free, only to find that the truth was the chain that bound them. Do not be a casualty of your own mouth. Do not let your tongue cut your own throat. Machiavelli warns us that the world is not what it ought to be, it is what it is. And in the world as it is, the truth is a weapon. And you do not hand your weapon to your enemy. You keep it sheathed, you keep it hidden, and you draw it only when you are ready to kill. This requires a level of maturity that most people never reach. It requires you to accept that you are alone in your mind, that no one can truly understand you, that no one can truly share your burden. It is a lonely path, but it is the path of kings. The king does not share his burden with the peasant. The general does not share his fears with the private. You must learn to carry the weight of your own ambition without buckling, without needing to lean on others for support. This solitude is the forge of character. It burns away the weakness, the neediness, the softness, and leaves behind only the hard, cold steel of resolve. When you can hold a secret, you prove to yourself that you are strong. You prove that you control your impulses rather than being controlled by them. Every time you swallow a sentence, every time you repress the urge to explain, every time you choose silence over noise, you get stronger, you get sharper, you get more dangerous. You need to understand the mechanics of envy, because envy is the shadow of success, and it grows in the light of revelation. When you reveal your intentions, you are not just sharing information, you are signaling status, you are signaling potential, and this triggers the deep, primal envy in the hearts of those around you, even your friends, even your family. Deep down, there is a part of them that wants you to stay exactly where you are, because if you rise, it forces them to ask why they have not. If you succeed, it highlights their failure. So when you tell them you are going to do something great, you are attacking their ego, and they will defend themselves. They will defend themselves with subtle digs, with concern trolling, with passive-aggressive comments, with doubt disguised as realism. Are you sure that's a good idea? Isn't that risky? Maybe you should be happy with what you have. These are not acts of love. They are acts of war. They are attempts to keep you in the bucket with the other crabs. And if you listen to them, if you let their doubts seep into your mind, they win. You stay small, you stay safe, you stay stuck. The only way to win is to deny them the target. Do not give them anything to attack. If they don't know you are rising, they cannot try to pull you down. If they don't know you are building, they cannot try to break it. You build in the dark, you rise in the dark, and by the time you step into the light, you are already too high for them to reach. You are already untouchable. This is the ultimate protection, the ultimate shield. Silence buys you time. Silence buys you space. Silence buys you the freedom to make mistakes without an audience. When you are working in secret, you can fail, and no one knows. You can pivot, and no one judges. You can experiment, and no one laughs. You protect your ego from the bruising of public failure. You keep your confidence intact because your setbacks are private. But your victories will be public, undeniable, and absolute. Think about the strategic advantage of the ambush. In warfare, the element of surprise is worth more than numbers, worth more than terrain, worth more than firepower. When the enemy does not know you are there, he cannot defend himself. He is relaxed, his armor is off, his guard is down. That is when you strike. In life, the ambush is the launch, the reveal, the debut. You want to hit the market, or the negotiation, or the relationship with a force that overwhelms the opposition before they can organize a resistance. You want them to say, "Where did this come from? How did he do this?" You want to seem like a force of nature, inevitable and sudden. If you telegraph your punches, they will block them. If you announce your attack, they will fortify the walls. Never let them see the arrow coming until it is already in their chest. This applies to everything. If you are learning a new skill, do not post about it on social media. Master it in silence, and then just start doing it. If you are investing, do not brag about your portfolio. Let the compound interest work in the dark until you can buy the building. If you are changing your body, do not talk about your diet. Wear baggy clothes until the transformation is so radical that people stop you in the street. The shock value adds to your aura. It makes you seem larger than life. People will wonder what else you are hiding, what other powers you possess, and that wonder is the essence of charisma. You become a puzzle they cannot solve, a movie they cannot predict, a book they cannot put down. And in a world of boring, predictable, oversharing sheep, the wolf who moves in silence is the king. So how do you begin this transformation? How do you stop the bleeding of your power? It starts with a simple rule. Never speak of what you are going to do, only speak of what you have done, and even then, speak sparingly. Judge your words by their utility, not their truth. Does saying this help me? Does it advance my position? Does it confuse my enemy? Does it secure an ally? If the answer is no, then swallow it. Let it die in your throat. This will be painful at first. You will feel like you are suffocating. You will feel like you are lying. You will feel like you are disappearing. Good. Disappear. Fade into the background. Become a listener, a watcher, a collector of secrets rather than a distributor of them. Let others fill the silence with their nonsense. Let them tell you their plans, their fears, their weaknesses. Hoard that information like gold, because it is. Knowledge is power, but only if you are the only one who has it. When you know everything about them, and they know nothing about you, you own the relationship. You own the dynamic. You can steer them, guide them, manipulate them if necessary, or simply destroy them if they cross you. You become the puppet master, pulling the strings from the shadows, invisible, unaccountable, and invincible. This is the path of the Machiavellian, the path of the prudent archer who aims high because he knows gravity will pull the arrow down, the path of the prince who knows that to keep his state, he must sometimes enter into evil. You are entering into the evil of silence, the deception of omission, the cruelty of exclusion. You are excluding the world from your mind. You are declaring your sovereignty. You are drawing a circle around yourself and saying, inside this line, I rule. Inside this line, no one enters without my permission. And that, my friend, is the beginning of true power. That is the first step towards becoming dangerous. That is how you stop being a pawn and start being a player. The game has begun, and your first move is to close your mouth, lock your face, and never, ever reveal your real intentions. The script continues, and the darkness deepens. But for now, sit with this. Let the silence settle, and feel the power returning to your hands. Now that you understand the necessity of silence, we must advance to the art of active concealment, because silence alone is not always enough. Sometimes silence is loud. Sometimes silence draws attention like a black hole in a white room, and attention is exactly what you are trying to control. To truly master the Machiavellian art of hidden intentions, you must learn to create a fog, a smokescreen that allows you to maneuver while your enemies are swinging at shadows. You must learn the discipline of the false signal. In the wild, the bird that feigns a broken wing leads the predator away from the nest. It does not hide, it performs. It creates a narrative that the predator wants to believe. You must do the same. When people ask you what you are doing, do not just stare at them blankly. Give them a decoy. Give them a goal that sounds plausible, a plan that sounds reasonable, but is nowhere near your true objective. If you are building an empire, tell them you are just trying to pay the bills. If you are planning a takeover, tell them you are looking for stability. If you are sharpening your blade, tell them you are polishing your armor. Feed their assumptions. Feed their prejudices, because when people think they have you figured out, they stop looking, they stop analyzing, they put you in a box and forget about you. And that is exactly where you want to be, in the blind spot, unseen, unmonitored, free to execute the real plan without interference. This is what Machiavelli meant when he said that one must be a fox to recognize traps. The fox does not fight the wolf head-on, the fox outwits him. The fox creates a false trail. You must become a master of the false trail. You must learn to look left while moving right, to smile when you are angry, to appear weak when you are strong, and to appear confused when you are the only one who sees the board clearly. This creates a cognitive dissonance in your opponents, a gap between what they see and what is actually happening. And in that gap, you win. You win because while they are preparing to fight the version of you that you presented, the real you is flanking them, bypassing their defenses and striking at the heart of the matter. Understand this. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And the greatest trick you will ever pull is convincing the world you are harmless, that you are just another face in the crowd, just another cog in the machine. But to pull this off, you must conquer your own vanity. You must kill the part of you that wants credit before the job is done. We live in a culture of credit seekers. Everyone wants the trophy before they run the race. Everyone wants the title before they do the work. They post the workout before they sweat. They post the business idea before they make $1. They post the relationship status before they build the trust. They are addicted to the appearance of success rather than the reality of power. You must be different. You must be willing to look average, to look boring, to look slow, while internally you are moving at light speed. Let them underestimate you. Let them think you are not a threat, because the moment they label you as a non-threat, they lower their shields. They stop guarding their secrets around you. They speak freely, and they hand you the keys to their destruction. Information is the currency of power, and people only give information to those they do not fear, or those they think are too stupid to use it. Be the person they think is too stupid to use it. Play the fool to catch the wise. Absorb their knowledge, learn their weaknesses, map their insecurities, and store it all away in the vault of your mind. Do not use it immediately. Do not use it to win a petty argument or to look smart at a dinner party. Hoard it. Let it compound. Wait for the critical moment, the moment of maximum leverage, and then, and only then, do you reveal that you knew everything all along. The look on their faces will be worth more than 1,000 empty compliments. It will be the look of absolute shock, the look of prey realizing the hunter was in the room the whole time. You must also understand the strategic use of vulnerability, because sometimes the best way to hide a big secret is to reveal a small one. People are suspicious of the man who has no walls, but they are also suspicious of the man who has no windows. If you give them nothing, they will dig, they will pry, they will invent rumors. So, give them something. Give them a carefully selected flaw, a minor struggle, a relatable fear. Confess to a mistake that doesn't damage your reputation. Admit to a weakness that doesn't compromise your strength. Throw them a bone so they stop barking. When you share a small vulnerability, it creates the illusion of intimacy. It makes people feel like they know you, like they have seen behind the curtain, and satisfied with that glimpse, they stop looking for the real secrets, the dangerous secrets, the ones that could actually hurt you. This is the art of the limited hangout, the spy who admits to a minor crime to cover up a major operation. Use this in your relationships. Use this in your career. If you are plotting a promotion, do not tell your colleagues you are gunning for the boss's job. Tell them you are worried about your presentation skills. Ask for their advice. Let them feel superior. Let them feel like they are mentoring you. They will see you as a project, not a rival. And while they are busy patting themselves on the back for helping you, you will be busy surpassing them. This is how you manipulate the ego of others to serve your own concealment. You use their need to feel important as a cloak for your own ambition. It is dark, yes, but it is effective. And in a world where everyone is trying to eat or be eaten, effectiveness is the only morality that matters. Let us talk about the cost of predictability, because predictability is the death of power. If people know what you want, they know how to withhold it. If they know what you fear, they know how to terrorize you. If they know your patterns, they can set traps in your path. Most people are painfully predictable. They run on loops. They react to the same triggers. They chase the same carrots. They run from the same sticks. You can map their lives on a spreadsheet. To become dangerous, you must become formless. You must become liquid. Never let them know exactly where you stand. Never let them know exactly what you will do next. Sometimes you are aggressive. Sometimes you are passive. Sometimes you are generous. Sometimes you are cold. Keep them guessing. Keep them off balance. When people cannot predict your reaction, they become cautious. They walk on eggshells around you. They treat you with a level of respect reserved for wild animals and volatile explosives. They know that if they push the wrong button, they might get a handshake or they might get a war, and that uncertainty makes them hesitate. Hesitation is your ally. Hesitation gives you time. Hesitation gives you space. Hesitation allows you to dictate the tempo of the engagement. Machiavelli said that fortune is a woman, and she favors the bold. But he also knew that she favors the adaptable, the one who changes his nature with the times. Do not be the oak tree that stands rigid and breaks in the storm. Be the water that flows around the obstacle, the mist that cannot be grasped, the shadow that cannot be cut. When you are ungraspable, you are unconquerable. This requires you to detach from your own identity, to stop clinging to labels like, I am a nice guy or I am a tough guy. Those are costumes. Wear them when they fit the scene. Discard them when they don't. You are not a character in a movie. You are the director, and the director does not get attached to the props. He uses them to tell the story he wants to tell. And what of the people closest to you? The friends, the family, the lovers. Surely you can be open with them. Surely you can reveal your true intentions to the ones you love. Proceed with extreme caution, for the knife that cuts deepest is the one held by the hand you shake. Machiavelli warned that men are fickle, ungrateful, and prone to betrayal, not because they are evil, but because they are human, because their self-interest will always override their loyalty to you. History is littered with the corpses of kings killed by their brothers, of business moguls destroyed by their partners, of lovers ruined by their spouses. The people closest to you have the most access to your soft spots. They know where the armor is weak. They know the passwords to your soul. If you reveal your grandest ambitions to a friend who is secretly envious, you have just handed them a weapon. They may not stab you in the back immediately. They may just plant seeds of doubt. They may make subtle comments that erode your confidence. They may sabotage you with bad advice disguised as concern. Or worse, they may use your dreams against you when the relationship sours. And relationships always change. Seasons change. Feelings fade. Alliances shift. The person who loves you today may resent you tomorrow. The person who supports you today may compete with you tomorrow. Therefore, even with those you trust, maintain a chamber of the heart that is yours alone, a sanctuary of the mind that no one enters. Keep the core of your plan, the ultimate vision, the final move, locked away. Share the journey, share the fruits, but do not share the blueprint. This protects them as much as it protects you. It saves them from the burden of your ambition, and it saves you from the risk of their betrayal. Love them, support them, bleed for them if you must, but never, ever give them the power to destroy you. That power belongs to you, and you alone. You must also learn to navigate the noise of the modern world, a world that demands constant broadcasting. Social media is a surveillance state that you voluntarily participate in. It is a confession booth where you are the priest and the sinner and the judge. Stop confessing. Stop broadcasting your moves in real time. Every time you post a location, you are tracked. Every time you post an opinion, you are categorized. Every time you post a plan, you are monitored. You are feeding the algorithm of your own containment. Disappear. Go dark. There is an immense power in being the person who is not there, the person who is missing from the feed, the person whose life is a question mark. While others are curating their fake lives for applause, you are building a real life in the dark. Let them wonder if you fell off. Let them wonder if you failed. Let them wonder if you died. The silence will drive them mad. They will text you. They will check your profile. They will ask around about you. And when you finally emerge, with the results, with the victory, with the empire built, the impact will be nuclear. It will not be a notification. It will be an event. You want to be the shock to the system, the glitch in the matrix, the anomaly that cannot be explained. This requires the discipline to withstand the fear of missing out, the fear of irrelevance. You will feel like you are fading away, like the world is moving on without you. Good, let it move. Let the herd run off the cliff while you stand on the edge and watch. You are not following the path, you are paving a new one. And paving requires focus. It requires looking down at the work, not looking up at the audience. The applause will come later, and it will be deafening, but only if you can endure the silence now. Consider the psychology of the negotiation, whether it is for a salary, a contract, or a relationship. The person who reveals their desire first loses. The person who reveals their timeline first loses. The person who reveals their bottom line first loses. Information asymmetry is the key to winning any deal. If they know you need the money, they will lowball you. If they know you are afraid to walk away, they will squeeze you. If they know you are desperate for the connection, they will exploit you. You must be a stone wall. You must be willing to sit in the silence and let it stretch until it becomes uncomfortable, until they break, until they start talking just to fill the void. And when they talk, they reveal. They reveal their desperation, their deadlines, their fears. You catch those revelations like arrows in midair and you fire them back. Never let them see you sweat. Never let them see you bleed. Even if your heart is pounding, even if your bank account is empty, even if your world is crumbling, your face must remain a mask of absolute calm. Machiavelli said that the prince must be a great simulator and dissimulator. He must be an actor on the stage of power. Act like you have options even when you don't. Act like you don't care even when you do. Act like you are ready to leave even when you want to stay. This performance shifts the leverage. It makes them chase you. It makes them bid for you. It makes them work for you. And the thing we work for is the thing we value. Do not be cheap. Do not be easy. Do not be open. Be expensive. Be difficult. Be closed. Make them earn every inch of ground. Make them unlock every door. Make them solve the riddle of you. Now, let us address the ultimate goal, the final state of the Machiavellian master. It is not just about hiding intentions. It is about becoming a force of nature, inevitable, mysterious, and terrifyingly effective. When you live this way, when you internalize the rule of silence, you stop being a person who reacts to the world, and you become a person the world reacts to. You become a gravity well. People will sense the density of your presence. They will feel the weight of your secrets, even if they don't know what they are. They will look at you and see a man who holds something back, a man who has a reserve of power that is untapped. This creates charisma. This creates leadership. People follow the man who looks like he knows where he is going, especially if he isn't telling them the destination. They trust the man who keeps his counsel, because they know he will keep theirs. You become the vault, the sanctuary, the stronghold. And in a world of leaking ships, the stronghold is king. But you must remain vigilant, because the urge to reveal will never fully go away. It is a biological drive, the desire to connect, to merge, to be known. You must fight this drive every single day. You must treat your mind like a fortress under siege. Check the gates, reinforce the walls, watch the horizon. Do not get drunk on your own success and start bragging. Do not get soft in your comfort and start slipping. The higher you climb, the thinner the air, and the more dangerous the fall. The enemies at the bottom were jealous of your potential. The enemies at the top are jealous of your reality. They are smarter, they are colder, they are more ruthless. They are watching for a slip, a loose word, a leaked plan. Do not give it to them. Stay sharp, stay cold, stay hidden. Think of the ocean. On the surface, it can be turbulent or calm. It reflects the sky. It changes with the wind. But deep down, in the abyss, the water is still. The water is dark. The water is crushing. It does not change for the storm. It does not care about the sun. Be the abyss. Let your surface change. Let your expressions shift. Let your words adapt to the listener, but keep your core deep, dark, and unmovable. This is where your true intentions live, in the pressure of the deep, where nothing can reach them, where nothing can disturb them. Let them sail on your surface. Let them think they know the water, but never let them see the bottom. This depth gives you endurance. When you live on the surface, you are tossed by every wave. You are exhausted by every storm. But when you live in the deep, you are immune. You can watch the chaos above and remain unaffected. You can execute your plans with the slow, grinding inevitability of a tectonic plate. You are not rushing. You are not panicking. You are simply becoming. And when the time comes to rise, when the time comes to reveal your intention, it will not be a ripple. It will be a tsunami. It will wash away the old structures. It will drown the opposition. It will reshape the coastline. That is the power of the hidden accumulation of force. So walk out into the world today with a new code. Seal your lips, harden your eyes, guard your mind. Look at every conversation as a game of poker where you are holding the royal flush, but you must play it only at the river. Look at every interaction as a potential intelligence-gathering mission. Look at yourself not as a victim of circumstances, but as the architect of them. You are no longer the friend who overshares, the employee who complains, the partner who needs validation. You are the strategist. You are the prince. You are the one who knows. And the one who knows does not speak. The one who speaks does not know. Let that be your mantra. Let the silence be your shield and your sword. Let your hidden intentions be the fuel that drives you through the dark nights and the hard days. You do not need their understanding. You need your own results. You do not need their permission. You need your own power. And power, true power, is always a secret. The script is done. The lesson is delivered. The rest is up to you. Close your mouth, open your eyes, and begin the reign of silence. This is not just a video. This is an initiation. Welcome to the Order of the Shadow. Now, go and tell no one.